Matt Zenitiz, John Talty with you following Nick Saban's Monday press conference. The highlight of the press conference today, Nick went on a rant.
I said before, I believe in our team. I do believe in our team. And we're going to work hard to make our team better. And I hope the players respond the right way. And it's not going to be for you. The fans, yes. Because if it was up to you, we're 6 foot under already. We're dead and buried and gone. Gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think what was interesting was that Nick comes out and says that if his players listen to what the media is saying, they'd be dead and buried weeks ago after that Ole Miss loss. I think one interesting thing to me is that coaches love to say how they don't pay attention to what the media and other people write and talk about. This is a pretty good example that they do, and that it sometimes can impact them. And I think it also just shows that after the game, Nick was pretty fired up, very much like defending his guy, saying how proud of him he was. And I think that like everybody talking about how the dynasty was over, I think it did affect them a little bit, and they used it as a motivating, kind of tool, and I think it might have played some sort of role, in that big win against Georgia, and that like they've kind of played the us against the world type thing, and the world was the media.
Well, I don't know how much of the different articles Nick actually read himself, but what was said was definitely on our radar. And I know whether it was Cyrus Jones the other day or different players they've referenced being told during the course of last week how Coach Saban told them repeatedly, you're being counted out. That was a motivational tool, a motivational tactic during the course of last week. And, I mean, regardless of some of the critiques that were out there about the dynasty being over, about that being more than just one loss for Alabama, that there were certain reasons and certain things that led to those articles being written by the national people that wrote them. But I mean, even just from our perspective, covering this team on an everyday basis, this was a different team on Saturday than it was during the course of that loss to Ole Miss, during the wins over Middle Tennessee and Louisiana Monroe. This on Saturday looked like a national championship team. That was not the case during the course of that loss to Ole Miss, and probably at times during the course of the first 4 games, with the exception of the win over Wisconsin. This looked like a different team. This team was at a different level in all 3 phases on Saturday than what they were during the first month of the season, and they're just in a good spot going forward. So the rant, or the motivation behind the rant, the different things that were said, I guess served as motivation for the game last week against Georgia. But I mean, regardless of that, this team is in a good spot now, and now all of a sudden looking at the schedule going forward, you have, I guess the outlook is that the 2 teams during the course of the next month, you have LSU, you have Texas A&M in 2 weeks, and then LSU 2 weeks after that. Those are the only 2 teams left on Alabama's schedule that are ranked. So the schedule that looked so daunting, that looked so tough earlier in the year, all of a sudden, if Alabama gets through those 2 games with a win, combined with the other 2 games that are played during that course of time, things get very interesting. But we'll have plenty more on that. Everything else pertaining to Alabama during the course of the season, during the course of this week leading up to the game against Arkansas. For John, this is Matt. Catch you guys later.